Okay, let's start with whatever questions you have.
All right, so I think some of the questions, because I have a mentor too, so I actually been talking to her in regards to some of these things. So I'm starting up a new startup. It's a geospatial startup,
Hmm.
and so I know that the SAMs, so like the broker thing, right?
Yeah,
Just in case, so my idea is to try to do something to get capital.
right.
So I don't understand the whole brokerage side. I saw a couple of your videos. You had like the guy, the TV guy. Like how was he able to? Because he was getting stuff out of his line of business, so I didn't understand how that worked.
Yes. Matter of fact, one of the things I teach people how to broker contracts, and let me give you a couple of examples. All right, this is a client who actually came to us back in 2014 and registered, and literally within an hour, she called back and canceled. She registered at 3:31. She called back 4:19 to cancel. Apparently, she'd talked to someone, told them that she registered and she wanted to do government contracts, and they said, "You're crazy. It's impossible. It costs a lot of money. We tried it 10 years ago and we failed." All kinds of stuff. If you make a mistake, the government could put you in jail. Just really scared her. And she
Hmm.
called back and she canceled. Well, 2 years later, she called back in and she registered again. And it says right here, 2016. And she called back in again, wanting to cancel, and actually got me on the phone. And I said, "I'll tell you what, let me do this for you. Before you cancel again, um, join my training today at 4. Let's go through my training. Let's find something to bid on. You and I will work on it together. And if you still want to cancel after the end of my training today, I'll go ahead and have them cancel and give you a full refund."
Hmm.
So she joined the training and went through it, and we found something to bid on. And she said, "John Wayne, I'm still scared, but you made me feel a lot better, and I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to stick with this time." She won her first contract within 30 days.
Wow.
She's currently operating on that contract, and she's working on another one. Not a bad, $25,000 contract, which isn't that big, but for a small business, that's huge.
Right.
It's amazing. She's never done a contract over like 2 or 3 grand, so of course she's thrilled. Right here, 24,771. And it was her very
Wow.
first bid too, which is awesome because obviously not everybody wins their first bid.
Right. So I don't understand like the RFI stuff, like to be able to do that. Now, is that a part of the training with you?
Yes. Yep. All
Okay.
that's part of the training. Yep. Let me show you another example. Okay. Here's a company who just straight up, she's actually doing the work in-house. So she wasn't brokering. That wasn't a good example. This company saw what TV Guy was doing, contacted me and said, "We want to do that. What do we need to do to get set up and win those types of contracts?" So got him set up, got his SAM set up on 522. I set his FBO up on 526. We set his searches up on 526, so he started getting the opportunities to bid on. And him and I worked on his first bid on June 1st.
Hmm.
He submitted his first bid on June 1st and won it June 30th for $32,000.
Oh, wow.
Again, not a big contract in the grand scheme of things, but huge for a small business, and especially considering he made $12,500 on it, and he's brokering it. It's for treated fence posts. See that right there?
Hmm.
So all he had to do once he won it was have the supplier ship the fence post directly to the buyer.
Oh, wow.
So he wasn't out of pocket, anything. Its supplier shipped it to the buyer, gave him net terms on it.
Mm. Got it.
And he's one, and they know he's a one-man show. It says it right there. They know he works out of his home. That's his home address right there is his office. They know he's a brand new company because his DUNS number and his cage code were just created. They don't care. They have to sell to small businesses, so they're trying to meet that criteria.
Yeah, but did he get the designations up front as well?
What's that?
Oh, he's not even a minority owned. He's just a small business.
Yeah, and he's actually won, that's not his only contract he's won. He's won, I think, 4 or 5 now. Four, and he's working on another one. You know, he's doing this part-time. He's doing it basically as a hobby. He's still working his day job.
Right, that's
so he's
what
making
I
an extra, you know, making an extra 40, 50 grand a year on the side.
Correct.
I'll give you one more example. This is a prime example right here because and this example, like TV Guy does not like me because I show people what he does. I create competitors against him.
Okay.
Which, you know, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, every time I teach someone to broker, I'm creating competition. But the government, they're spending, I think it's $60 million a minute or something like that. Right. You know, there's 3,000 something awards I don't even know the math anymore. It's mind-boggling. There's so much business out there, it's ridiculous. So there's no reason to be greedy, you know. Pyramid, another company that saw what TV Guy was doing, came to me and said, we want to do that. Herb Jones. And Herb, even though he's a broker, doesn't care that I teach other people to broker because I taught him to broker, you know.
Right.
They won their first bid, too. And the funny part about it is that it's for liquid petroleum. Or not liquid petroleum.
Liquid gas.
Butane or propane, something like that. When he bid on it, or actually when he was reaching out to a supplier, the supplier he found is the company that's held the contract for the last 10 years. But they're no longer a small business, and this year the contract was put out as a small business, so they couldn't do it directly. So when he called them, they said, yeah, we definitely like to work with you because we can't bid on it directly, so we're going to give you a really good price. They gave him a price low enough that he was actually able to beat the price the government was paying last year. So it's pretty much guaranteed to win it. Yeah. And it's still the same supplier. So they have all the tanks and everything's already in place, and they just continue to show up. And he's making money off of it every month.
Isn't it called a through? What is it called when you do the brokerage? Through? Is that a term for that?
Brokering, middleman, you know, stuff like that. A lot of times they won't know that you're brokering it because they don't ask where you're buying it from. So they're just assuming that you're the supplier when actually your supplier's drop shipping it.
Gotcha.
I'll give you another example. This one's funny because, let me see here. What is it? Kingdom Limo. Eric Christian, I think is his name. Christian. Eric came to me, said, I got this contract I want to bid on. Will you help me with it? Of course. I helped him submit the bid, blah, blah, blah. They awarded it to the company he was going to subcontract it to. Come to find out, the company he got the quote from to sub it out to, put 2 and 2 together, figured out that he was bidding on it, and they stabbed him in the back. They bid on it. They underbid him.
Yeah, I think this is the limo one. The limo one. Did
you
demo?
Yep. So, you know, when he didn't win it, we contacted the purchasing agent, of course, and asked him why we didn't win it, because we don't just do and wonder. We do and we find out why. We learn from each bid. A lot of people don't even know they can do that. So they'll, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. A lot of people work the government system that way. They'll submit bid after bid after bid, never win one, and not know why. And that's just ludicrous.
Because
so when we requested the debriefing and found out that the government said that they awarded it to his competitor, the guy we was actually going to sub it out to, but they said he was their second choice. You know, he was the second person that they decided on. It's just they're going to award it to this company. Well, needless to say, he wasn't happy about that. But about a week later, he got a phone call from the purchasing officer saying that that company that they awarded it to did something that they didn't like, and that they were going to go ahead and take it from him and give it to Eric. So he wound up winning it anyway.
Right.
Well, guess who Eric subbed it back out to?
There we go.
He subbed it back out to the same company they took it from. And that's a 5-year contract. He's going on year 3 on that, you know.
But as long as he's under the simple acquisition, he doesn't have to do, how does he do past performance?
Well, he didn't have any at the time. You know, not everybody has past performance. Everybody starts out in the same position. Just think about back when you were in high school and you wanted to get your first job. And you probably applied for a lot of different positions and you kept getting turned down because you didn't have any experience. Right. You know, but how can you get experience if you don't have experience? They won't give you a job to get experience, then you'll never get experience.
Correct.
It's kind of like that, except that the federal government really doesn't care so much about past performance anymore. Matter of fact, on small business set-asides, you'll notice when you're working on a small business set-aside, 95, 97, 98% of the time, it'll say right in the synopsis under the evaluation phase, it'll say that your technical proposal is the most important factor. Your past performance is second, and your price is actually third. Your price is the least most important factor.
Okay.
When that's the case, your solution, your technical proposal, your solution to their problem, or you have the product they want to buy, is the most important factor. So you don't have to be the cheapest, and you don't have to have the experience. You just have to have the right solution.
Gotcha.
And you'll see that a lot. What are you wanting to sell something specific or in a certain arena, or do you want to broker anything?
I don't know. I mean, I need capital, so I mean that would probably be the first thing to help with capital. But I want to see what services are available in the company's arena anyway. So I didn't know if there's something that I can already just go out and I know that I have the background to just do the services from, or because right now I'm trying not to do any loans or any of those things. So I was trying to because trying to broker. I was like, hey, why not just broker out some stuff, get some capital, so I can use that and have that's past performance with already in the system. That's capital that I really don't have to do anything for. And then third of all, this is because I now know how to work the system. Now I can go into the services out of the house.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you know, you can do both. You can broker and provide products and services from your existing employer. You said you do geospatial?
Yes.
That's huge with the government. I have several clients that sell geospatial services to the government. I've had them since 2009, and they do a lot of government work. So you can definitely do both. And there's no geospatial, the industry is not saturated yet, like a lot of industries.
Correct. Yeah, especially from my minority standpoint, there's not too many of us at all.
No, not at all. Matter of fact, out of the 3 geospatial clients I have, 2 of them are overseas.
Right.
They're not even U.S. businesses because it's that little competition right now.
Exactly.
What's your you're going to do this part-time, so I need to know that it's a lot of work involved in getting you registered and building the website and getting you set up and me helping you with your cap statement and your elevator pitch and the training. It's a lot of time that I have to invest. I just need to know up front that I'm going to give you the names and phone numbers of the people you need to call to reach out to. I'm going to help you write your elevator pitch so you know what to say and how to say it. I'm going to help you put together your cap statement so you've got something to send to them. But I can't pick up the phone and make those calls for you.
Okay.
You know, I need to know that you're willing to and you would have the time to make the phone calls.
Oh, absolutely.
I trust me. I'm only asking this because I get people that say yes. You know, I had a gentleman 6 months ago. He dropped 20 grand and just wanted everything we had available. He bought it without blinking an eye. You help my friend win contracts. I know you can help me. Here's my credit card. I want it all. Every 3 or 4 weeks I call him, and he still hasn't even sent back his worksheets. He just keeps saying, I'm too busy. You know, which is fine. But if I invest this kind of time in people, I want them to invest some time in themselves, you know.
Gotcha.
So as long as I know you can take some time to submit some calls and actually submit some bids, you know. I get people that they'll get registered, but they never submit one bid. I've got a woman, I've been working with her for 2 years. She submitted 2 bids in 2 years. And she didn't win either of them. So, of course, it's frustrating, but you can't do that. I mean, you got to submit bids in order to be successful.
Gotcha.
So that's, if you know you've got the time every week to invest a couple of hours and making some calls and submitting some bids, then I will invest myself in you because I don't want my success ratio to drop either.
No, absolutely not.
The less people win contracts, my success ratio drops. Right now, it's about 85% of my clients have won at least one contract.
Okay.
And the other 15% that are not successful is because they're not applying themselves. They're not making the phone calls. They're not submitting bids. Or they might have registered just because they had one bid in mind and they didn't win it, and they don't try to go after anything else,
No, that's not me at all. I'm trying to,
okay.
Again, like I said, that's how I found your stuff, because I've been doing my research. And matter of fact, I'm already starting to work on my cap statement now, just to finish up the executive summary. So like I tell you, John, I'm not, I like to be very frank. So I'm working with an incubator, like I'm in Maryland, so there's a small incubator next door. So I got a couple of mentors that I'm working with as well. But
awesome.
The key thing for me is to really get focused on this getting capital. So I mean, and like I said, I have probably 15 years in geospatial as a manager. So I'm actually I work for the federal government now.
Yeah.
So I work for the government now. So I'm actually a core myself.
You're doing
some
contracts?
Yes, I'm trying to work I was talking to my mentor. Like I don't want to jump all the way out there right now. I want to kind of learn, right? So I don't want to just be like most of your people, like give me the $1 million up front and then screw it. I want to learn. I want to learn and then be able to wing like I was talking to one of my other mentors yesterday. I want to be able to feel uncomfortable where I'm at now, because I don't want to just to leave and be stuck and like, all right, just quit my good job and don't have nothing.
Now what?
Yeah, now what? So.
Your subcontract work does count as past performance, so you have past performance already with the federal government. Yep, as a subcontractor, that counts. So,
as experience, yes. So the company just started. I just started the company everything LLC and all that, done all that just recently. So that's not. So the company just started like the last couple of months. So I've been.
No, that's okay. I'm talking about you personally. You have past performance on your name. Have you been working geospatial for 15 years and you're doing it for the government now? That's past performance, even though you weren't the prime.
Yeah, I used to be most definitely got NGA, FEMA. I just left FEMA being the national lead for GIS for FEMA. Now I'm over FPS. So I have like resume. I can forward you over my resume if you want to look at it.
Yeah, definitely. You've got, are you a fisherman? You like to fish?
I do.
Okay. I'm going to give you the best way I can explain it. I can help you get your fishing license, and I can give you some pointers and give you my favorite lure, and you can go out to any bridge, or you can get on a ferry or take a charter and go fishing because you got your license, you're legal. All right, that's the basic registration and the basic training.
Gotcha.
You're looking at, for that, with the registration and the training, that's $1,000. It's $950 or $995, whatever it is.
Okay.
If you're serious and this is something that you want to do, not just as a hobby, you don't want to fish off the bridge with a license. You want to get a boat and a depth finder and the right poles and all that. You want to go all out. You need to get set up for simplified acquisitions. Have you seen simplified acquisitions on any of my trainings?
I have not.
All right, let me show you real quick because it makes sense. Go to FPDS.
I think I have. Where you go in and you're looking at people's past contracts.
Yeah, we're going to look up simplified acquisitions. We're going to put in the word simplified. These are contracts that are not typically put out for bid. They can either call or email you for a quote. If your price is fair, they don't have to put it out for bid. They don't have to get a second quote, which is called the rule of two. You probably know of already.
Yeah,
that's no longer mandatory. They tend to prepay on simplified acquisitions, so you don't have to have the working capital up front, but they're going to give it to you in advance. And there's the threshold on those. The cap has been raised many times. It's up to like $8 million now for women, minorities, and veterans. So, for example, we're going to go by date sign. Look at the most recently awarded. We're going to look at something that's over $25,000, because anything under $25,000, the purchase can be made differently. All right, so we're going to look at this one right here for $94,000. Click the view link. You can see right here it was done as a simplified acquisition under solicitation procedures. See that?
Mm-hmm.
See where it says number of offers received?
1.
That's it. This is a prime example of a simplified acquisition. Only 1 offer received. This company's a big company. They're brokers. This is exactly what these guys do. Straight up brokering. It's called miscellaneous foreign awardees, miscellaneous foreign contractors, anything that says miscellaneous in the business name, they're brokers. And they've been doing it for years.
Wow.
Where did it go? Yeah, right here, miscellaneous foreign awardees. 199,000 federal contracts they've done.
Damn.
As brokers. And this system tracks a little less than 10% of the spending. So that could be as many as 2 million contracts that they've done.
Wow.
As brokers, yeah. And you'll see too that the threshold is just a suggested threshold. So for example, in 2013, this contract was awarded for $174 million when the cap's supposed to be $8 million.
Oh, well.
It was done as a simplified acquisition. There was 3 offers received. I didn't spell it right, did I? S-P-A-T?
It's S-P-A-T-I-A-L. Spat A-L, spatial.
Usually 1 word or 2.
It's geospatial altogether. Geospatial, or GIS.
Yep, yep. So government acquisitions, guarantee you they're a broker just by their business name. Simplified acquisition, that was almost $100,000.
Wow.
Government acquisitions, yeah, they're a broker in these. Geospatial network analysis tablet, simplified acquisition, 4 offers received. 60 grand. This is a startup company. This company was brand new. This contract was put out for bid, full and open competition. They only got 1 offer on it. So they did it as a simplified acquisition, even though it was put out for bid to begin with. It was awarded to this company for geospatial intel. And this was a startup company. They gave them a 6, you can see right here, number of employees, 0, annual revenue, 0.
Wow.
$6 million contract. More than likely, they were probably working with a business on something, and the guys that they were working with specifically for that company found out that they wanted to buy such and such, and he went ahead and just started a startup company and bid on it, and they awarded it to him.
Wow. But a lot of that stuff usually is just phone calls, right? That's probably what didn't go out to bid, right?
Yep. It was you either got in front of the right person, or already knew the right person, or we submitted his capability statement out, and one of his purchasing agents found his cap statement and reached out to him. Who knows?
Gotcha.
But if you make enough of those phone calls, you submit enough bids, you're going to be successful. It's just a matter of time.
Gotcha.
Now, this is what you're looking at. If like I said, you want to go, you either want to get a fishing license and fish off the bridge, or you want to do it right. Whoops. It is.